All right, so let's talk about the big news that kind of came out last night and this morning, and that is reportedly that Bryan Danielson, actually now as he's known as, has signed a contract with AEW. Let me read you the exclusive. I don't know why I did the air quotes there. But this comes courtesy of Bodyslam.net and author Cassidy Haynes, who is also the owner of Bodyslam.net. So I just wanted to clear that out here. He writes that Daniel Bryan's last match with WWE took place back on April 30th on Smackdown when he lost to Roman Reigns in a championship versus career match. It was then reported that Daniel Bryan's WWE contract had expired on May 4th, 2021. There's been lots of speculation as to what the future holds for the former WWE champion, as it was reported earlier this week via PW Insider. So it's Pro Wrestling Torch, right? I think.
Yeah.
Or no.
PWI.
PW Insider.
That there were no merchandise or action figure plans in place for Bryan within WWE for the remainder of this year. This led many to believe that Bryan will not be returning to WWE. In an update as to the future of Bryan Danielson, formerly known as Daniel Bryan, a source I have spoken to has told me that he is locked in, with quotations, and has 100% already signed a contract with AEW. In addition, I was told, and I'm saying I because of what the writer's saying, I was told that Danielson was wanting to work less states for comparable money. He wanted the ability to be able to work in Japan and wanted to have creative input on his character, which he got. There are also tentative plans already in place for Danielson's AEW debut. We'll have more on Bryan Danielson signing with AEW and potential plans for his debut soon. One thing I do want to note is that this reporter then followed up and said that Bryan will be debuting on the AEW show on September 22nd, emanating from the Arthur Ashe Memorial Stadium in New York City. And that is what the author claims. So I don't want to dig too much into the credibility of this author, but I do want to say that this is the first time I've ever heard of Bodyslam.net. Usually when these things are when big news is reported, it's usually like a Dave Meltzer or even PW Insider.
It was like Mike Johnson or something, yeah.
Mike Johnson, yeah. So like the usual names. So this Cassidy Haynes, and I'm not disparaging Cassidy Haynes. It's possible that he does have a source within AEW who did provide this information. I'm just, I'm pointing out that I've never heard of this source before, but again, he's a smaller source, and it would be like if you and I, or the three of us, had some breaking news because we interviewed Marco Stunt, friend of the show. It would be hard to trust our credibility as a small wrestling outlet as well. So, but what I did want to talk about is Daniel Bryan in AEW potentially. Bryan Danielson, I should probably say that because that's going to be his name most likely. The American Dragon, or he might come up with a new gimmick, most likely.
It'd probably be the American Dragon, and he would bring that back. I mean,
I don't know. He had an opportunity to bring it back on a second run, and he didn't. So,
the reason why is because he would have had the trademark, and WWE would have owned it.
Maybe that's certainly reasonable.
Yeah.
Very weird. But I think while a lot of outlets are reporting this as fact, what I want to do is I just want to take this information, and think about what Bryan Danielson could do in AEW and by proxy New Japan Pro Wrestling if that's true. He wants to also wrestle Japanese wrestlers in New Japan. Alex?
Yeah. So yeah, there's honestly quite a bit to unpack from it, but I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, just let's see. The first thing that comes to mind. Oh, see this. Actually, yeah, no. I think Bryan Danielson's versus Pac would be a fun, like, hard hitting contest for sure. Like that's the first thing that comes to mind. It's just because their styles are similar in some senses. It would be interesting to see like how Bryan responds, like how Bryan works that match, considering like that he's had to change his style up from what it was like before all the various injuries that led to his previous retirement. I think it would be interesting to see like how he would go about having that match. But still, like they have similar styles in a sense, so I think that would be a fun dream match for sure.
James?
No, I mean, I have no problem with him wanting to sign. Hey, you got to do what you got to do, for your family. We're all here trying to make money and make your family well. So, hey, if he got himself a deal that, and I said before, if he got himself a deal that's going to be, beneficial to him, less dates, more places he wants to do, I'm happy for him. Now, dream matches, I'm really not, I don't really
You've got the
know.
entire AEW and potentially the New Japan roster.
I'd rather see New Japan. I'd love to see him with Okada. I'd love to see him go against, what's that boy name? The junior heavyweight champion right now. You know what I'm talking about.
Not Ibushi, right?
Not a Bush. No. Well, Evil. I guess him against Evil. That'd be
Evil.
good. Naito. Him and Naito would be a great match.
Oh, Naito. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a fantastic match? Him versus Naito. I can see that.
That'd be great.
Yeah, New Japan. I'll be happy to see some of those matches. And if the AEW, I'm not really keen on it, but then again, like I said, he's got to do what he's got to do, and I got no problem with it. Hey, we always got to make that money, man.
so no love for the inevitable match against Cody Rhodes.
They already had them. Didn't they already have a match?
They've had at least
I have
one
no
match.
idea, but that's probably the first.
But I mean,
what I'm actually more interested in is
it would be Omega probably. That match with him and Omega.
To answer James's
Daniel Bryan Omega.
To answer James's question, the current junior heavyweight champion of New Japan is El Desperado. He won the vacated title. The guy who had it before him, who you might be thinking more of, is Hiromu Takashi. Yeah, he had to vacate it because of an injury recently, and then
he hurt himself.
El Desperado. So either one of those might actually work. Though junior heavyweight style would actually be a fun
matchup. There's tons of matchup in New Japan. Yeah, I mean, and then AEW, like I said, I mean, I would you eventually see that match for him and Omega. That'd be interesting to see what they'll come up with. I just really don't think anybody else that I can really think of that I would love to see him. Yeah, him and Phoenix. Problem is, Phoenix usually can do some of the greatest things in the world, but he gets hurt because of that. So him and Penta.
I will say there was
Penta doing more ground-based style. Those two trying to break each other's arms.
Phoenix is back again. So
he's back again. Okay. Him versus
time.
Penta L's Zen. But
El Zero Miedo.
El Zero Miedo,
Penta No Fear.
Yes.
No Fear. But those two having a ground-based match. Those two having a ground-based match would be actually pretty interesting to watch. Yeah. I could try to break each other's arms. I want to. You know what? The one thing I will love to see: cattle mutilation return.
Oh yeah.
If he do somebody cattle mutilation.
Oh my gosh, yes, that's what.
If he does that, I would be happy to see that. That's one of my favorite finishers. He doesn't do anymore, and I miss that.
Yeah.
One. So
yeah.
Like I said, it'll be interesting if it happens. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if he wants to do that. If he wants, And then again, like I said, AEW is very accommodating when it comes to their scheduling and paying a lot of money to do a little less dates. So.
I will say there was one other match I was gonna say almost as a joke, and that's why I was kind of laughing. But I'm mainly holding off because I wanted to see if Chris would say it before I said it.
You know what
Bryan versus
Miro
or something?
No.
Like that?
Freshly squeezed, baby.
Freshly squeezed. I don't think that would work, unfortunately.
Speaking of like the change of styles.
Unless Daniel Bryan like does his heel character of some sort, it's not gonna work. But what I am most interested in actually is what Daniel Bryan will do to reinvent himself. Bryan Danielson, I should say rather. Because as we've seen, a lot of the folks coming from WWE are trying not to do the same character. You saw Miro; he's completely reinvented himself twice. He was the best man, but now he's God's favorite champion, which is absolutely amazing.
What should have been the first thing he did when he first came in.
He just maybe didn't think of it at the time.
Oh no, yeah. But no, he would bring back. I know what Danielson would do.
Let me just finish here. Mm-hmm. Thinking about how Jericho came in, Jericho has tried to squash every WWE gimmick, the crowd tries to put on him. The list of Jericho he doesn't talk about anymore. The crowd chants Y2J, he tells him to stop. When Jack Swagger debuted at Jake Hager, they chanted "We the People," and he said "We the People sucks." So we did see a lot of former WWE talent trying to bury their WWE gimmicks, and I wonder if Bryan will do the same.
Easy.
If he'll not do the yes chance or the no chance.
He won't do that.
Which I'm kind of hopeful he is. I don't want to see him. Yes.
He won't do that.
I'm hoping he won't. I really loved his run as the Planet's champion. You know, when he really leaned into that aspect of his character. Maybe something akin to that. Did I lose my video?
No, I think you're.
Or out? No, we lost Alex.
I'm still here.
We're still here.
Yeah,
okay, we'll keep going. Something akin to the Planet's champion gimmick.
I say he reverts back to the American Dragon. So he's going back to American Dragon.
I don't think he'll go that far.
No. Yeah, pure wrestling. He's going to be, I'm coming here as a pure wrestler. He's going to be like, I come here, I'm the best. He's basically, I think he's going with prove he's the best technical wrestler.
I think we'll see something new.
He's going that way. I think he's going to revert back to a new spin on what he did in and stuff like that. That's what I think he's going to do with that. And because that's the easiest way for him to do is he can just put back in that mode where he's trying to make people submit. He's trying to be that pure wrestler, best technical wrestler out there, the American Dragon. The mixture of ground-based, Japanese little ground-based wrestling, and a little mixture of just a little high flying. Not much high flying because he's not going to be doing that. Like he used to before.
I don't think he'll do it.
But,
I think
he's going to
character.
I think that's
I do.
Because he hasn't shown that in almost 10 years.
I think he's grown past the character because part of the American Dragon was him being this young, small guy trying to prove himself. Well, now he doesn't have to prove himself anymore.
He's an old veteran now. He's going to be the old grizzly veteran.
Yeah.
So he's going to be running that. I think his gimmick is going to be running that American Dragon, old veteran. I'm here to show you guys how to work. I think he's going that route.
Plus, Cody occupying the American Nightmare gimmick. We don't have two Americans.
So it don't matter.
The Americans. Oh God, what an awful tag.
Well, Cody's a part-time wrestler anyway, so.
Cody and Bryan Danielson, the Americans.
We are the Americans.
Oh
boy, I can see that. There was a FX TV show on that one, but
I kind of lean towards what James is saying. I think it'll be not so much just like a new take on the American Dragon. I do think there's value in because for all intents and purposes, Bryan Danielson, before he ever got to WWE, before the very first season of NXT, his gimmick was in the fact that he didn't really have a gimmick per se. The closest thing to having a proper gimmick of sorts was like, well, two things, I guess. The actual American Dragon, where he wore a mask and was essentially presented as this like American version of a Japanese take on a luchador or a pure wrestler dressed up like a dragon, calling himself the American Dragon. But you also had, like, when he was a heel, his focus was on the fact that he was a pure wrestler, and I think there's value in that for him when he comes, like, if he goes into AEW, it might be a reinvention as Chris is saying, but probably more towards focusing on the actual wrestling side of it. But I will say either way, it'll be interesting just because, like, clearly this is a situation where, Bryan honed a lot of his craft in terms of his character development and actually working on gimmicks in his time in WWE. But he has so many facets to his personality and who he is beyond that it's hard for me to actually say, oh, this is definitely what he's going to do. But I can say with certainty that'll be very interesting to see what happens.
I would like, and I would like him to come in, like you said, as that, like you said, this is pure wrestling, and he probably will get booed by saying that. I'm the best pure wrestler here. None of what you guys do. What do you guys do, or it's not wrestling?
Right.
I do wrestling.
His focus will be on
go off that. I would love
wrestler.
that because he's like, I'm the best. I'm wrestling. Then he can even bring in the pure rules matches. I do pure rules.
Ring of Honor recently brought back the pure title, and so there's value in that.
All right. Every time my matches are the pure rules.
All right. You can check us out at OccupyProWrestling.com and on the socials at Power to the Smarks. Until next time, this is OPW Live.